For a lot of gamers, Stellar Blade was one of the most highly anticipated releases of the year, in part because of the combat system and how the gameplay looked, but also due to the fact that the main character, Eve, was actually an incredibly attractive woman, kind of pushing back on what we're used to seeing in the modern-day gaming industry, where they seem to be trying to uglify every single woman they possibly can. And despite reports to it selling incredibly well, and obviously very, very good feedback from the audience, a 9.2 from the user score on Metacritic, there was still a massive controversy upon release because some of the outfits that we had seen in previous builds of the game were censored for the final release, and that caused a little bit of a backlash. As Stellar Blade devs thank their fans, the petition of Free Stellar Blade continues to grow and hits milestone after milestone. And yeah, a little over a month ago, I think it was, when Stellar Blade actually released, despite the fact that a lot of people did enjoy the game, the reality was it seemed to be a lot of promises about the game being uncensored, and then a couple outfits didn't match up to what they'd promised. Certainly, there's still a lot of revealing outfits in the game, but nevertheless, gamers said, hey, why would you censor these things, especially with everything else in there? We want the original outfits back in the game, what you promised us. Well, here we are, and in a patch about a month after release, Stellar Blade devs listened to the audience and gave them those outfits. Stellar Blade returns uncensored outfits following fan campaign, and that petition is over 90,000. It's closing in on 100,000 right now, and it looks like the devs heard the gamers. According to sources on Twitter, Stellar Blade has allegedly brought back the uncensored outfits that were censored in the game's earliest patches. According to industry veteran Mark Kern, the old costume has been returned to the game, and the fan campaign of #FreeStellarBlade is being hailed as a success. Now, we're going to get into this because there are still a couple things that people are not happy about. The censored outfits are still in the game. These are additional outfits that are a little bit different color, but in terms of style, they're the ones that people were asking for before. Who knows if it was actually developer or Sony that mandated these types of things for the initial game, but the reality is, obviously, the addition of these indicates that they heard the fans. And here's Mark Kern's post. We did it. You did it. #FreeStellarBlade celebrates a shift up and Stellar Blade uncensor outfits. Thank you to everyone who participated in the 8-step plan and the petition. Please sign the petition, which will now be sent as a gift to Shift Up. Now, again, like I said, some people are not happy because the original censored versions that were released are still in the game in addition to these extra ones. However, I think it's pretty clear that they heard the fans, they heard the audience, and they're like, hey, we're going to put these back in there as well as have the originals too. But I think the most interesting part is going to be the woke games journalists not happy about this. Remember, when initially it was said, hey, it's going to be released uncensored, games media was freaking out. They were pissed. It's okay for Sony to release a game where you have Abby getting fucked, right? That's fine. Or a bunch of other stuff we've seen in a lot of different games. But no, a little too much skin on this character in a mature rated game, that has to be covered up. Well, games journalists already are not happy that it seems like Shift Up listened to the fans. Stellar Blade patch, boss rush mode, and quote, uncensored outfits. And this, of course, is by Paul Tassi. I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom here to get to where it's clear that he's not happy about this at all. I said when all this was unfolding that I figured Shift Up would eventually do something like this, either changing the original outfits or doing what they're doing here. They're a company that is absolutely forthright about their intention to make sexy characters, and demands that outfits weren't sexy enough in a game full of extremely sexy outfits was always probably going to lead them to go, okay, sure, whatever, here are sexier versions. The bad part about this is the culture war folks here have been rewarded for their frankly ridiculous campaign lambasting this game, the developers, Sony, and everyone else for the original outfit change as some sort of conspiracy, which did not exist. The outfits themselves are fine, but this being a reward for this group and their behavior is not a great look. Expect to see a lot more like this, and probably way worse than this in terms of bashing gamers. They're not going to be happy that these outfits were added back into the game. Certainly, not everybody is happy. Some people still wanted them to revert the original ones, get rid of those original censored outfits in general. But I think it's pretty clear that the Stellar Blade devs heard the audience, they heard gamers, and they put it in there. Who knows whose decision it was, the developers, Sony's, whatever it may be. But here we are, and it looks like once again, you've got game devs that are listening to gamers, which is quite frankly refreshing. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.